women farmers, or not even farming, but supportive roles of the farm. They talk about infertility of women in farming, mainly because of the chemicals.
Dude, this sounds so interesting.
So Brady, I have a question for you. What's it like when the corn is high, but the chaos is higher?
It's a lot of things, but it's never boring. This is the Farm Wife Files, Life Between the Rows.
And we're back for another episode of Life Between the Rows.
Yay!
Sometimes I just like to be so
I was going to say, that was so serious.
We always have a topic for, most of the time, we have a topic for every episode, but we just get on like I hope people don't think it's like a scripted outline, because even if it was, we just get on such tangents that it just does not stay that way.
Yes, I would agree.
Okay, today we were talking about farm safety, which I think our husbands would laugh at.
Honestly, they would.
I do get so worried about, okay, we did not even base this episode off my last experience, but I do have a good example for this. Okay, I had a baby shower on Saturday, and so Tyler was supposed to watch the kids, and this has been in the works for like a month. Well, he gets a call, and someone is stuck on a dirt road, and they need a tractor to pull him out. And of course.
This also happened, they called me, and not this last time, but you guys were out of town or something like that, and they were trying to get a hold of somebody, and they called me. Anyway.
Same people?
Well, this was the co-op calling.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yep, the co-op called Matt. Matt didn't answer. He was down in the Ozarks. Tyler was doing something maybe in Kearney, Grand Island. So then they tried calling Cody. But it was my number because my number's on the co-op thing. And they were like,
I can't help you.
Well, and they were like, so-and-so is stuck on a dirt road over by Roberts. Can you go help them? Blah, 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 blah. And I was just like,
literally no.
Well, Cody's not even at work. Matt's in the Ozarks and Tyler's MIA. So
gone.
No. Anyway, sorry, continue.
So anyway, Tyler just can't say no. And he's like, well, it's fine. And I was going to take Brinson anyway because, it's easier. I can just latch him onto me. And
right.
Yeah, yeah. And figured Taylor can have some dad time before he gets busy with planting and he's not around. But yeah, he's like, oh yeah, I'll come do that. And I'm like, I have to leave in an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in what world do you think, he's like, well, I just figured I'll take her with me. And for whatever reason, I'm like, no, that's not safe. I have seen way too many chains fly through the back of windows, and that's more pickups, I guess. But still, I guess that's just not a place I wanted my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but... And he's like, I would never bring her somewhere. She's unsafe. And I'm like, okay, I understand that, but, your idea of safe and my idea of safe
are not the same definition.
Yeah.
Well,
that
and
was just a little...
I know when we first started talking about it, there's a lot more to talk about it because I'm actually certified in...
Yes.
As a nurse, I'm certified
This was a topic we wanted to talk about, long ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we just haven't got to it.
Yeah.
But no, tell us about your background and what you did for your certification, though.
Yeah, so as a nurse, I have to do what they call continuing education hours to keep my license. And so there's other things that I have to do to keep my license, but one of them is a CEU. And the state of Nebraska does not require you to do it on any specific thing. Of course, you still have to, have CPR and all this stuff, and that will count towards some of it. But the other CEUs can be you can do it whatever. So sometimes in the past years I've done it where it's something I want to learn about that I really have no idea about it. Or sometimes I would do things on maybe just up-to-date practices on things that I feel very confident on, just that I work with every single day in my job. So very different. There was an opportunity that someone reached out to me that they were offering scholarships to do what they call the AgriSafe nursing scholar. And so what that means is there's a bunch of different nurses that take this class, and it's a series of classes with tests and online discussions and all of this stuff. And they were looking at paying for this, and it's like a $600 course, and I ended up getting it for free because I just applied for it and whatever. Well, it's all about specifically the health strategies of farming, and they pay more attention to rural nurses and what support rural communities have, because you could go to Omaha and get a lot of these services, but it may not be as accessible in those smaller communities. So they teach a little bit about just everything, like from
I'm wondering how like widespread this is.
Yeah, it was
Like
honestly
anywhere, because you hear farming. Like, are we talking like hobby gardening
No,
to
like,
like row crop?
this
tens
is
of thousands acres operation. You know what I'm saying there?
right. So they just say like farmer, for example. Like they don't necessarily say like this is for a 10,000, because like health is health.
Right. I mean, but the equipment, like when I'm thinking
Right.
like safety, like
Right.
equipment wise, that
So
just
they
looks
go
different.
into a little bit of the safety of like how to safely handle equipment and that stuff. Not a ton of that. It was more of, okay, what are farmers using? They're using heavy machinery. What are the things that we see with heavy machinery? Hearing loss is one of them. And I'll get into that.
yeah.
But like, okay, so with farmers that are around, or pig farmers, for example, number one farming industry that have hearing loss is pig farmers, because of the
Really?
squeal of a pig is so loud and
My
such a
grandpa's
different.
like deaf.
Yeah, so pig farmers are always going to have a higher risk.
Listen, sorry.
I'm sorry, Grandpa, but yeah, like pig farmers have a higher risk of hearing loss because they're around pigs all the time.
Interesting.
So hearing loss.
My papa used to farrow out pigs, and they had a whole like pig operation, and then just like farming too. Yeah,
Yeah,
he has a really hard time now.
yeah.
Okay, keep
So,
going.
yeah,
That's-
so,
I'm
like-
sorry, that's just really interesting.
Yeah, so they go into like that, but like chemical. Like farmers are going to spray chemicals. We know it's part of their job. But what are the risks that we're spraying chemicals? Okay, we know these risks. We know what to do. But it's like, okay, a farmer spills chemical on them. What are the things that we need to do as nurses right away?
Oh,
And so it's
okay.
like more of like the responding to, and of course I'll get
Yes, I see
into
that,
all
yeah.
of that. So there was that. One thing that I really, really enjoyed that I didn't think that this class would even touch on was women producers.
Oh,
So like
okay.
women farmers, or not even farming, but supportive roles of the farm. They talk about infertility of women in
Really?
farming, mainly because of the
Dude,
chemicals.
this sounds so interesting. Like, this should be something that could be offered to, like, just farm wives and farm families.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. I really enjoyed learning about it. And I still talk to the nurses that I did it. We have quarterly, like, lunch. They do it over
yeah.
lunches. So we just get to, like, eat lunch and talk and all that stuff. But they talked about that, but they also talked about the safety of children.
Okay.
And how typically, kind of the story that you were just telling about Tyler is one of the higher risks of children having farming incidents is because it's always linked back to the mother,
Oh, really?
not necessarily the father. And it's because the children see their mother multitasking on the farm more, so they think that they can multitask. And they can't, because their brain is not wired the way that
Right.
it's not mature enough to
Right.
do that. And so they end up getting in an accident, a farming accident, because they thought it was okay because mom was multitasking. So
Oh, no.
and that's
I have to
typically,
double check myself.
yeah. And so that's what typically they see children in farming accidents and that type of stuff. And then they, one of the other things that I really liked was the mental health aspect of it, because farming is just a tough,
And if our husbands are listening, they're going to be like,
they'll,
blah, like,
Yeah.
no,
but actually there is, there's 3 top professions that are always listed
Oh, for
on
your highest, like,
highest
depression
rate
or suicide.
suicide rates
Yeah.
are the highest. One of them are, which is kind of confusing, but like dentist orthodontics is one of
Oh,
them, but
okay.
farming is also always one of the top
Yes.
3. And then first responders
Oh, I could see that.
And I
yeah.
think first responders is also linked into military. But so those are the three professions that are always typically at the top of the chain for suicide rates and that stuff, unfortunately. But I do think that it's one of the things that this class has, or this course and certification has brought light to.
Yeah.
But, and we'll get into that just a little bit more, but when we were first talking about this episode, we talked about how you were like, oh, let me just see what ChatGPT says.
Yes. Yeah. So, because I was like, oh, what are some talking points for me? Because, I want to be able to add into the conversation. But then, of course, like, I give her such nonchalant, I'm like, just bring up whatever. And she said, always shut off equipment and remove keys before servicing.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. Great advice. And then the next one, never bypass safety guards or shields. Stay away from moving parts, PTOs, belts, augers. So here, I gotta call Tyler really quick. And we're just gonna ask. We may have to cut this out because it could be a total flop. But we'll see what he says.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, I'm calling you now.
Okay.
So we're doing an episode over safety and health strategies for farmers.
Yeah.
How many shields do you have around the PTOs on any of our equipment?
I don't know, probably one.
Are you serious?
Like on a irrigation motor, there's only one.
I'm talking. Okay, that's fine. Okay, what other safety things do they have, or like shields or like guards or whatever that you guys have taken off or you don't have on there?
Like on the grinders, we take all them off.
Yeah, I thought
If
that's
it's
literally
in a
what I
way
was
to take
thinking
it
of.
off, make it whatever is convenient.
That's awful!
So,
Tyler!
Tyler, do you wear...
We're trying to use efficiency on the farm, not OSHA approved.
Uh-huh. Okay, Addie has a question.
How many times do you wear, like, glasses when you're, like, welding? Or...
Well, he's probably always wearing his sunglasses, but then when he welds, he
When
wears
you're
a helmet.
welding, you got a
He
welding
actually
helmet
wears
on.
the helmet?
Yeah, he does
I don't
actually.
wear safety glasses. I don't wear safety glasses under my welding helmet.
Okay.
You actually
When
wear
I
the
just,
welding
grinding,
helmet, though.
I wear my sunglasses when I'm grinding.
I was going to say, just grinding, though?
Yeah, just
I wear
grinding.
my
No.
sunglasses.
He doesn't wear, like, safety glasses. They're like his Oakley sunglasses.
Yeah, they're protecting my eyes.
Or, like, even thinking about, like, none of them have steel...
Toed boots?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're all wearing
Yeah, that's not
freaking...
required, man.
It's not a requirement, no, but your toes really help you walk.
But Matt wears flip-flops, so it's fine.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does wear the flip-flops all the time.
Okay, what else is, like, supposed to be safety for you, but you totally take
Just
it off
disregard
or don't...
it.
Yeah, disregard it.
Nothing. We're pretty safe.
Well, I was thinking, like, up north, all the pivots up there that were run by a motor, like, none of that stuff is, like, safe is safe at
Yeah,
all.
they had shields. They had shields over the PTOs. We do have that. We put shields over all the PTO shafts.
Okay. Well, like, even, like, a tractor, though, like, there's not shields over those PTOs.
Yeah, there is.
I don't think so.
I've
Yeah,
never
you
seen
head
a
up to the
shield.
grain cart. The grain cart has a PTO shaft on it already.
I'm thinking about, like, the auger.
Yeah, the auger, little auger, they don't have any.
See? Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
Okay, that's all. I mean, I kind of figured I knew the answer, but that's what I was looking for.
okay, sounds good.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, bye.
Be safe. Bye. Literally told you.
Love Tyler.
Yeah.
Well, I love our
What
husbands,
was
but-
his words? We're for efficiency.
Yeah, we work for efficiency on the farm. We're not OSHA approved. Final
Okay.
last words of
Yeah.
Tyler Heidemann.
No, but honestly, like, as much as that makes me nervous and we laugh about that, they do good. I mean, they are pretty well, like, they think things through. I will say, when we have issues is when it's, like, go season and they get a little bit out of shape because something's not going how they want or they feel like they're behind schedule. I mean, just like the other day, Tyler's trying to get the skid all ready to go and trying to get the tender truck all ready to go for spraying and whatnot, planting stuff all together. And he freaking cut his thumb completely open because something on the, I don't know.
It's just like
pump.
Cody.
Yeah, and then Cody.
Yeah.
What'd Cody do?
He was trying to change a tire on one of the tractors and it just wasn't coming loose. So he got pissed, of course, and shoved something in there and it came loose. And so when it came loose, it just sliced his finger completely open.
That's a bad slice, though.
Yeah. And of course, I'm just laying
Like, he
in
probably
bed.
should have got stitches.
Well, he comes over and he's like, this is the thing that made me freaking crazy. He was like, well, I was just going to have Sarah, which is his sister, come look at it. But she was in town and I was just like, I was literally right over the hill. Like, why wouldn't you
Yeah.
come over here? Well, I knew you were sleeping, so I didn't want to
Which,
come bother
that's
you. And I was
nice,
just
but
like,
still.
I appreciate that. But like when
You're bleeding.
yeah, last time that you went to the ER, you just sent me a Snapchat.
Yeah.
And I didn't look at it until I looked at it. And here
Hours
you are.
later.
Yeah. Bleeding from the head. I got a Snapchat saying you were going to the ER, not a text or a call or anything. So there was that. But so yeah, so I have some notes that I like compiled off of the courses that I took. And I just wanted to like kind of go through them.
Yeah, please do.
So, a little bit about AgriSafe. So, I just want to preface this. This is from AgriSafe Network. In 2003, it was founded by a group of rural nurses, pretty much just identifying the need for their community to have some sort of farm nursing knowledge because not all communities have a provider in their ER at all times. Like they have to call things in. So nurses have to be equipped to have the information to be able to adequately support farming and the farming incidents that happen. So they
know your community.
right. And so this is why this was founded. In the network, they founded what they called the Total Farmer Health, and that's where they go into a bunch of different things. One of the things like that I said that they talk about a lot was the female producers. So right now they said there's over 1.2 million female producers in the US, and how to adequately also factor those 1.2 million females into the equation plays a different ballgame when it comes to just talking about males.
Okay.
That's the main gist of just like background. They wanted to focus on the farmer, but they also wanted that unique perspective of females as well. One of the things that they talked about, and we touched on it, was the mental health, the mind over matter aspect of farming. So we know that the ag industry faces higher suicide rates just against the general population. And so some of the factors that they talked about that I think I knew in the back of my head, but I never really like had the validation that it was like actually a thing. And we've talked about it in previous episodes of like how many decisions do they truly have to make on a day-to-day basis.
That's
we talked
stressful.
yes.
We talk about farming, like I know I'm especially growing up, it's your job's really labor intensive, but you don't have the mental to like we do. BS.
Right.
Being married to a farmer, now I know.
So debt is one of them. If you meet a farmer with no debt, they're not a farmer.
Yeah, literally.
You have
Well, no, take that back. They're just haven't retired yet.
yes. Debt, weather, and market is the top 3 things that cause the suicide rates to go up, or just mental health in general.
Which is something you can't really control.
All 3 of them. I mean, like
the
you can
debt
control.
You can control,
right.
But like, how are you gonna farm if you're not gonna?
You need a lot of cash flow.
Yeah.
So, one of the things is also there's always the stigma with farmers that are like, they're tough as nails and they need to do all of this and they need to be the providers of the family. And that also eats them alive sometimes because they don't know how to ask for help.
Yeah.
And so
don't think they can.
Correct. And so one of the things that they taught us in this class was you have to use the check-in strategy, but you have to be direct with it.
Yeah.
Like you can't beat around the bush with them. And obviously, like I could go up to Tyler and I could have this conversation with him if I truly felt like that I was worried about him.
Yeah.
You could probably do the same with Cody.
Yeah.
but you can't do
I feel
that
like
with
Cody's gonna
everyone.
be more open with me than Tyler would be.
The idea is to use direct but empathetic language. So it sounds like you're under a great deal of stress. I'm worried about you. Are you having thoughts? All of that stuff. Like just being very direct.
Tyler would laugh at my face.
Well, I mean, yeah, he probably would. But if he's truly in that position,
You think?
I think, I mean, realistically, if
I feel like it
someone
depends
is
on
really,
personality.
yeah, for sure.
Unfortunately, I mean, it just.
Yes. With that also being said, we know that farmers have that physical toll on their body too. And so a lot of them have chronic pain.
Yeah.
So there's one of the statistics that they have is 74% of the ag community has been impacted by opioid misuse.
What?
Yeah. So the long hours, acute or chronic injuries lead to those quick fixes, which is those opioid use.
That's wild.
And so one of the ways that they taught us as nurses is always ask about different pain management, or
Okay.
if they know that they've used opioids in the past, like we need to start asking those questions like before we like present it to the doctor or
Yeah.
something like that, so we don't continue giving them opioids when they have
they're
identified
obviously
that they
abusing them.
right, or they have abused them in the past.
Yeah.
And it might not think like, oh, I'm abusing it. It's not necessarily that. It's the fact of
When you're taking a pain medication like ibuprofen, that's abusing it.
You-
No?
you're taking not necessarily ibuprofen. Like I'm thinking like true opioids, the hardcore pain meds.
That's what I'm saying. Like when you're taking like over the counter pain medication like
Oh,
ibuprofen, that's when it's
Yes.
you should
yes, correct. Yeah. I that stat just really
that's a high.
yeah, very, very high. We talked about how your grandpa's deaf.
Yeah. I mean he's not, but
I know, but
he literally can't. Like, I feel so bad for him because he told me the other day, and he's trying to get some different hearing aids. He's just had, I think it's that thing. There's so many on the market. You don't know what to get. It's like, and they're so expensive. Yeah,
right.
You don't know what to do. But he's to the point where, like, he has to, like, try and read people's lips. And, yeah, that just is miserable, not being able to hear.
So one of the things that they also talked about was the decibels. So OSHA has they have different, of course, they have different like levels of things, but 85 decibels is typically where it's like, okay, if you have a consistent 85 decibel or above with long-term exposure, like
Then
this is
that's
going to
gonna
lead
cause-
to damage.
Okay.
And so whether that's like actual hearing damage or like brain damage could be different based
Right.
on whatever. Tractors and livestock, typically pigs, are always right about that 112 decibel mark, meaning long-term exposure to like
All the
that
time.
all the time. I mean, if you're in a barn that's echoing because it's
Yeah.
pigs, like the echo's even going to be making it worse, longer exposure. Plus then maybe you're
I'm thinking of, like, an auger running all the
right,
time.
you're cleaning out a bin or
Yeah.
you're filling trucks or just all of that. Yep, 112 decibels.
Oh, I don't want that. It's kind of funny, but like my grandpa, when my grandpa can't hear, she literally has to talk in like this, like, Belle, like this high pitch, and he can hear that.
Yep.
I don't want to do that with Tyler.
Well, so that's the one thing is they said like hearing protection is really big, but they talk about that with kids as well.
Yeah, I'm bad about that. 'Cause I'm like, oh, it's a tractor. Oh, it's like it's fine. And so,
And it's more like long-term exposure. So if like
Right.
Taylin was going to go ride in the tractor with dad, like typically probably it's riding in the tractor and that's about it. Like inside the cab is not nearly as bad. I would hope Tyler's not making her get out and in,
No, not
unloading
yet.
augers and all of this stuff like all the time. But like kids running around with the augers running or just tractors in general, or they're walking through the pig barn or
right.
like they should be wearing ear protection. I mean, the adults should as well, but realistically, we want to try to protect our children as much as possible. So there's that. One of the things, I never did it as a kid, but I know a lot of friends that have, is going and doing like picking corn in the summer, like detasseling. Not necessarily, this is the one example that comes to my mind, but they use different examples. Crop workers, so detasseling, so that's what crop workers mean, die from heat 20 times faster than any other industry.
What?
50% of those deaths
From heat exhaustion?
happen within the first 4 days of the job. So someone that has never detasseled corn,
Right, they're not used to that environment.
no. And so enforcing breaks, telling people that it's okay to slow down, and specifically like with Cody, I always have to remind him, I'm like, sit down and eat lunch. Just sit inside and eat. Just, or not even
Which,
lunch,
I
but
don't think, is there a lot of detasseling still going on? Like, I know seed corn, they got to go in and cut the tops off some of those, but I'm not real familiar on.
yeah, and it's not,
that.
they used detasseling as an example in this
Right.
one, but it's just like Cody going and working cows or haying.
Yeah.
Haying's in the middle of summer, and sometimes he has to hay without the cab, like the
that's
tractor with the
awful.
cab. Like, it's okay to take breaks and enforce that and tell the people to just do it. There's that. Going back to the opioid misuse and just pain and that stuff, but 90% of farmers will experience some sort of musculoskeletal pain, with over half of the older farmers suffering from arthritis and back problems.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because they try to lift stuff that's way too heavy for them.
Yep. So that was something that I'm like, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that is eye-opening.
So safe lifting is a big thing with that.
Whenever I get like a piece of furniture or something heavy on Amazon, this is a 2-man
I know,
lift.
it's like, nope, I'm just going to manhandle it in and
yeah.
just get it
Well,
done.
I don't have another me, so it's
Yep.
going to be a one-person lift
Yep.
today.
100%. So yeah, ergonomics of like posture and just all of that stuff. But then like mixing the heat, the pain, the not taking breaks, all of those things is just a recipe for disaster.
Right.
We talked about women and all of
Yeah.
that stuff. One of the things that they talked about in this one is women, specifically pregnancy, childbearing age.
Our age.
Yes. Women typically our age and are around farming, the farming industry, are at much higher risk of infertility than anyone else. And that's because of the chemicals.
Okay.
The environmental hazards, pesticides, biological.
Well, and something I wanted to talk about a little bit, like you touched base on like the spray chemicals. And I think that's something that the farming world gets a lot of hate for and grief for. But what I want to explain to people is, okay, where maybe I do think as far as my husband or Cody or the people that are handling it hands-on maybe are at more of risk. But the people that are even anywhere near the spray when it's being sprayed, like, I don't think they understand how diluted it is.
It is
Like,
diluted.
it is insane the amount of water that goes into it.
Yes.
Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that some of the chemicals are perfectly safe when they're in their full concentrated form, especially if they're being spilt on or, you know, it's being seeped through their skin or, you know, whatever the case may be. But the people that are hating on spraying chemicals, I don't think they understand the amount of dilution as far as, like, it going on the plant.
Well, and
And then as far as us spraying our stuff, like, none of our stuff is food grade. Like, none of that stuff you're going to be ingesting. Like,
no.
so that's what I want to get across here. Like, I'm all for saying chemicals have some point in being harmful, but not for the people that are not handling the full concentrated version.
I think with that as well is farmers also have to take classes in order to safely apply
Yeah,
and spray things. Like, they can't just go out and spray.
right.
Like, the wind has to be in certain directions and under a certain mile per hour and all of those things. So, yes, one of the examples with women and the chemicals is doing laundry.
Really? I know Cody's been really good about
Cody
like,
is
Addie, don't do this.
super good.
Yeah.
After he figured out and learned how to use the washer and dryer himself, I need to give him more credit, but I mean, he will take my clothes out of the washer because typically we're all on the same floor. So we
Yeah.
just go throw them in the washer instead of in a laundry basket. And sometimes it's in a laundry basket, but he will take my clothes out
Before he puts his
and
in.
he'll do a load of laundry every night if he has to,
Yeah.
because he is like, I don't want you.
Handling him.
Right.
Yeah. Good for him. Brownie
Also,
points for Cody.
yes, with pesticides and that stuff is women typically are the ones handling the household pesticides, the bug spray.
See, and I don't even think about that.
That's one of the things as well. And then one of the burnout of women, specifically multitasking. They multitask on the farm because they just have to get stuff done. Their kids see it and their kids think that they can multitask. And we kind of talked about that earlier. So that's typically where they see kids have the most issues, or they run into the problems of safety.
I think as far as like children's safety on the farm, my biggest has just been like repetition.
Yes.
Like, you know, we were out there the other day and Tyler's loading chemical totes onto the tender truck and Taylin's riding her little bike around and just like consistently telling her like, Daddy cannot hear or see you when he is and it's the forklift. So, I mean, he can see better than if he's in the sprayer. But like just being consistent in, if this is running, stay away from it.
Right.
I mean, even like we had a semi and it was just idling because it needed to be filled. And they just hadn't got to it. And so it's sitting there and I'm like, and so I'm just telling her, like, we walk around so they can see you. And so that's just been something that we've really implemented. Like, even if somebody, like, we know nobody's in there. We know that the truck's not going to move. But
they
it's
don't.
running. Exactly.
Yeah.
So just, like, you know, telling her and instilling that in her brain, like, this is running. So that means we need to stay away from it.
Yes.
But then also just practicing what you preach. Mm-hmm. Because they watch everything.
Yep.
Kids are just little sponges.
Yeah. And that's the thing is kids typically, specifically with farming, they always want to go do these fun things. So kids are on 4-wheelers at 8 years old. And there's a reason it says
or running
that.
tractors at 8 years old.
Right. Yeah. And it's always like you run the risk of like, oh, it's good. They need to learn how to do these things. It's instilling them, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I get that.
I think there's a happy medium.
Exactly. And so you'll see farming related incidents with that as well. But the thing that I'm just going to keep saying is it's just insane for data to start to be linked to children's related incidents back to the mom. And like, it's just insane to think about, like, that they could actually do this research and be able to say, like, and obviously I don't have children, but just with the littles down on the farm, we had Brooks' little one, and he comes down to the farm quite frequently, and every single time we have to unplug the electric fence because he doesn't know. And so we teach him, but we're going to unplug it to teach him, like, just for safety. But it's like, no, you don't touch that.
One of those in our generation, our parents would have been like,
touch it.
Yep,
see
you
what
won't do it
happens.
again.
Right. But, you know, and we've had that conversation, and it came down to, okay, we can do that, but then they get scared.
Yeah.
And they don't want to go see the bulls, or they don't want to go see these fun things that they were excited to see. So it's like, so I get it. There is that happy medium. Like, does a 2-year-old need to be shocked by electric fence? No. Does a 5-year-old that has now known better that this is an ouchie and that we don't touch it, and they just want to go?
It does become a game.
Right. That's the thing. It's like, okay, well, you know, and I know that you know better not to touch it, but you're running over and you're smiling and you're putting your finger on it. Okay, go do it. I don't care. You'll learn. But yeah, I think I'm just starting to be more conscious of
what you're doing,
what I'm doing when when littles are there too. So
I mean, I'm constantly doing 5 things at once. Like, and I guess I haven't thought about like farm related stuff, but like just here at the house.
Well, and not only that, but like we can say women all we want, but even men. Tyler could have Taylin in the combine or in the tractor taken for a ride, but how many phone calls is he also
Right.
taking.
Yeah.
Taylin, when she gets a cell phone, she's going to think it's okay.
Or, just texting and driving.
Yeah.
Don't even have to be farm related.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, especially like my Super Cruise, I'll catch myself all the time because I can be on the highway and my car drives itself. I mean, yeah, I have to be like looking up every once in a while so it thinks that I'm
Paying
paying
attention.
attention. But yeah, I've caught myself like, I'll just be scrolling Facebook and I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it drives itself, but like, I still have to, like, technology fails all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So,
It's insane.
yeah. Interesting. Those are really interesting facts.
And if you guys want to learn more, I could totally grab some more things. Obviously, I needed to keep it a high level as much
Yeah.
as possible and the things that really stood out to me. But yeah, I was excited to take the class and now I'm certified in that type
Yeah.
of nursing. So farming nursing, and we'll definitely continue it in the future.
Yeah.
Super
Okay.
fun.
That was a fun episode.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll wrap this one up, but we will see you guys next time.
All right. I will see you next time. Bye.
They say a farmer's work is never done. Well, neither is ours.
Come back next week for a new episode of Life Between the Rows.